Morning. Hello, 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 and thank you for joining us at the Movement. We are the Movement, a motivational organization there to educate minds, empower, nurture, and transform. In the words of Annette, we are a movement to move. Don't you move that neck? A movement to move. Our purpose is to help you thrust into your purpose so that you can start living your best life and win. We want to see you win. We tap into a winner's mindset, a winner's formula, and we want to share it, and we want you to win. So I'm gonna I'm gonna try and close us out. I know everybody's kind of waiting on the first Democratic debate. Those of you who follow politics, I know I want to watch it, but I have it set to record so that I don't miss the very beginning.
Oh,
but
okay.
So that I can actually go back and rewind and see the introductions and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna try and close us out early, but enough for everybody to go and watch it and everything. So, but we're excited about tonight. We have a great topic, and we're looking forward to sharing. So I'm gonna let Annette greet, and then I'm gonna get started.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight. We're looking for a good time. Open your ears, your heart, your mind to receive what we have for you tonight. Again, thank you.
Girl said if you're looking for a good time. Looking for a good time. We do have a good time, though.
We do. We had a good conversation.
I enjoy our talks. Our talks help me. They help me through the week.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes we take for granted, certain things in our lives. But I honestly can tell you that this particular night, every time we do it, I am blessed and I'm uplifted.
Yeah, me too.
I look forward to it. It's tough sometimes preparing because the topics can kind of get us, like, it gets you where it counts. But once we get into it, it's like it just is what it is.
Yeah, that's right.
So I want to talk about tonight. We have our topic, the elephant in me. We always talk about the elephant in the room. Usually when we have that saying, there's an elephant in the room, it's something that's big in the room that nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to deal with. Nobody wants to touch that subject. That, there are so many sayings that as it pertains to the elephant, so many symbolisms as it pertains to the elephant. The elephant symbolizes strength and honor, and in Christianity, the elephant symbolizes or is an icon of temperance, patience, and chastity. So when I started looking into this, I found like so many scientists and stuff who had studied elephants. I mean, one lady lives right out in the middle of Africa where they built a compound, and she lives right, when I say in the bush of the Congo, she lives in the bush of the Congo and comes back to the United States probably once every blue moon just to bring recordings and all kinds of things of the information that she's gathered out there with some of the tribe members of the elephants. Most of the elephants that she's watching are elephants that would probably have been killed for their ivory because they're killing them, and the elephants are endangered species right now. There are certain species of elephants. But they've dedicated their lives to studying this animal, a big, ferocious, it looks so ferocious and fierce. I know, and one of the things about an elephant is that they're so much like humans. They're a lot like us.
Yeah.
But, I know I used to see this cartoon when I was younger of an elephant, and when a mouse would come near an elephant, he would start running and screaming because he's afraid of the mouse, and all the elephant has to do is just step on the mouse with his pinky toe, and the mouse is gone. Which is, symbolic of us as people, because the main thing that we're dealing with in this topic is strength. And I think sometimes an elephant doesn't know its strength. I know there's sometimes certain animals don't realize their strength. They're like golden retrievers and Rottweilers. They'll jump on you and don't realize their strength. And an elephant, much like people, has mood and has a temper. You make him mad, then he just goes wild. He gets defensive like a cat, and you don't want an elephant to get wild and start running because it's going to destroy everything in its path.
Yes.
Can you imagine something that large running? It tramples over cars, and I've seen in movies where an elephant just trampled over a car. Like, you have to turn your camera off, Lashavia. I turned the camera notification off. I meant to turn it. I honestly didn't mean to do it in this one. I noticed it really tonight. I'm going to turn it back when I when we come out. So you just have to physically turn it off. But anyway, so I'm going to open up our presentation so that we can get started with this discussion. Yes. The elephant in me. And when I looked at this topic, you know, it started really like kind of churning on the inside because I never thought of it that way. So, I mean, I forgot to mute everybody. Hold on 1 second. Let me stop sharing so I can get my mute thing going on here. Forgot to mute everybody. Hold on. All right, I got you back in that.
Okay.
I'm going to go back and share. Okay, so we're dealing with strength. And one of the things about an elephant, we talked about an elephant being this ferociously big animal. And when we're talking about the elephant in us, I want to go from the vantage point of standing strong and tall, because those are two characteristics of the elephant that I believe are very synonymous to us when we realize the strength and the ability that we actually have. So an elephant, when I looked at, I'd never even thought of looking up the elephant, the definition of the word elephant, but I did look it up. This ain't my one doing that. I got one coming later.
Oh.
I saw you smiling.
All right. Transitive and intransitive.
No. This one is the elephant. This is a noun. The elephant, by definition, is one that is uncommonly large and hard to manage. And when we look at ourselves as people, that second part is a definite. People are very hard to manage.
Yes.
Elephant is hard to manage. An elephant has, an elephant is large in size, but people are large in ego. And a lot of times when that personality jumps out and we start operating in ego, we can tear up some things. Just like an elephant doesn't understand its size and can start to destroy everything in its path, so can people, so can we. We are hard to manage. Sometimes we're hard to get along with. Sometimes we're, as people, we're difficult. We're just difficult, period. We have problems with, sometimes, Yolanda, you have to turn your camera off. I'm sorry. I meant to tell everyone, I have to turn that back off because I'll be meaning to catch people off guard. I turned the notification off. I meant to do it in my regular one when I had a meeting the other day, and I did it in this one, and I realized it. My bad. So, but we're hard to manage, hard to get along with sometimes, hard to convince. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody and that you're trying to convince them that, something they've done is great, or when you're trying to tell somebody with low self-esteem that they're beautiful? Or when you're trying to tell someone, even when you're having a conversation with someone like that is not good, or you shouldn't wear that, that's ugly, or you're trying to have a heart-to-heart, especially with your children. When you try to tell your children and they don't want to listen, mama don't know nothing.
Yeah.
That's that hard to manage ego. That's that thing, and it's that strong will. And what we have to do is to learn how to change that will to become the will of God for our lives, and the right will, and not our stubborn, strong will that fights against everything and everybody that's right. Because we would save ourselves a lot of time and a lot of headache and a lot of problems if we would just take the moment and listen.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we don't like to listen, especially to people that are older than us, because we feel like, oh, they're old, they don't get it. And I get that now. I get that from students. I get that from family, who are younger than me. Oh, you don't get it. You don't understand. Yes, I do understand. But I know you don't think I do. So I'm going to let you just go through this and fall on your face. And I deal with my artists all the time. Oh my God, why didn't I listen? Because you think you know it all. So I want us to get to the point that we learn by definition that, we have large egos that are hard to manage. That's part of the strength that's in us, and we want to redirect that strength. And when it comes to your inner strength, you're stronger than you think. Strength means you have the ability. Not necessarily, when we think strength, we're thinking, weightlifter, bodybuilder strength. But strength simply means that you have the ability. You just don't realize how much strength you have. You think that you can't make it through situations. I'm telling you, I'm one of the main people. That's why I have to talk to myself. I speak about Anita. I don't mind being transparent. I can tell you how a lot of days I wake up questioning everything about my existence. And I have to get into the mirror and I have to talk to myself and affirm myself and say, girl, you got this. Girl, you strong. You got this. What are you worried about? You're smart. You can figure this out. And what you can't figure out, God's got it. That means it's not meant for you to figure out. You got to get up off of this, girl. Don't be sitting around here with a long face. I have to talk to myself constantly. And before you know it, my day is going by and I'm good. I'm like, whoa, I made it through another day and I'm good. I made it. I survived. And then guess what? It gets figured out. Because while I'm trying to figure it out, God has already worked it out and I don't realize it. I'm sitting around here, oh God, I don't know what I'm going to do. But God has already worked it out. He has already worked it out, and you don't notice that until you get to that point to where you think the bottom is about to fall out, and you realize God has already worked something out on your behalf. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we just don't get that. So I want you guys to understand you are so much stronger than you think. The elephant is one of the most intelligent creatures alive. He's smart. They plug water holes with logs. I was reading that an elephant will grab a tree branch to swat insects.
Wow.
That is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow.
But they're extremely intelligent, and we have a strong mind. We're intelligent. We're born with this innate intelligence that we don't use. We don't use the full capacity of our minds. You are stronger and smarter and braver than you can ever think, people. Use it. Stand strong and tall. Another thing that was weird to me is that an elephant has an innate sense of self, not just innate, but they have self-awareness. I did not realize the elephant can see themselves in the mirror. Now, you know that hit home with me.
I know it did.
Because few animals can see themselves in the mirror. Wow. Few animals. I've learned that from reading that there are not many with the sense of self-awareness. And an elephant, when they see themselves in the mirror, they don't go and attack it, like some dogs sometimes think it's another dog and they will bark and attack, or like the fish in the tank with in Finding Nemo. She thought that the other fish was her sister Flo. Meet my sister Flo. Hello. And but an elephant will look in the mirror and start admiring themselves. Oh. That is crazy to me. They stop and they stand in awe. They have a sense of self. And a lot of us don't even like to face it. We'll face the mirror to make sure our hair look good, and when we're brushing our teeth and washing our face, making sure all of that and the clothes are hanging right. But when it comes to looking at yourself and talking, that's a whole nother beast. Yeah. It takes some strength and an innate sense of self to be able to look into your eyes in the mirror and talk. Trust me, I am one who I live by that. And I know you can't tell me it's easy, because it's not. It is not an easy thing. So you have an innate sense of self, and that's why it's important that you get in the mirror, just like that elephant, and stand in awe of your strength and put it to use. Because the other thing that I found out about the elephant, because they're so creative that they're able to plug holes, they're curious, and they take their curiosity to creativity.
Wow.
So a lot of times when you see kids who are very curious, they want to know, they want to figure stuff out, that's how they learn. But for some reason, when we get older, we're like, no, I'm not going to go down there, and I'm just going to stay right here. In my pew that's my seat on the end. Everybody know I sit on the third row on the end. Don't nobody sit in my seat. I put my purse there as soon as I come to church. I get there early and I get my seat. And if somebody sit in your seat, boy, you'd be mad. Like, I can't believe they took my seat. Boy, that's some crazy stuff. So what happened to the days of being curious about stuff, curious enough to read about something, curious enough to explore and to study? Put that innate nature to work. Use your elephant-like instincts. That elephant is going to go straight in and figure stuff out. Who knew that an elephant could plug water holes with boulders? Who knew that an elephant could step on tracks and build a trail? And then they talk to each other. They talk to each other by a low rumble. that we can't even hear to the human ear. The human ear can't pick up that frequency that the elephants can talk to another elephant from like a mile and a half away.
Yeah.
Through this low rumble. So they are creative and they're talking to each other and strategizing and figuring things out, how to move their herd, how to protect their young. They feel, they have emotions, they weep, all of those things that they do. So just when you understand all of those characteristics, and at the same token, an elephant can stand tall and take you out in one stomp. That's how you can be with your enemy, with your shortcomings, with your faults, with your failures. You have to stand strong and tall and understand who you are, that you are strength. You're stronger than you think. You know who you are with a sense of self. So take your curiosity to creativity and start creating things again. Don't be afraid of the dream and the vision. Get rid of the fear. You're stronger than you think. That's the elephant in you. I want y'all to type that in. It's the elephant in me. It's the elephant in me. At first I was looking at this topic and I was like, the elephant in me or the elephant in the room? Did she mean the elephant in me or the elephant in the room? I didn't even bother to call it that because I know what she meant, the elephant in me. It's the elephant in me. And I had to really look at this, I had to look at it for a minute. And I was like, that does make a lot of sense, because I can stand strong and tall like an elephant. I'm ferocious.
Different perspective.
Exactly, right?
The power to recall. The elephants are known because they have an ability to remember. So the first thing I want to talk about tonight is all big things start small. Mm-hmm. When an elephant is born, the baby elephant actually is born blind. And so it takes a time before it's able to see. So there's limitations even from birth. So all things start small. So the elephant starts small. The elephant can't see. And that's how it is in our ministries and visions. It starts small. Apples started in 1976. And it started in somebody's garage. Mm-hmm. And look at Apple now. Hewlett and Packard, they started with $538. Look at them now. Google started very small. A couple of guys got together and they used to pay rent us $1,700 at a garage. But look at them now. Walt Disney started as the Disney Brothers Studio back in 1923. So look at them now. So everything starts small. But like an elephant, even though that elephant maybe have been born blind, the elephant had limitations, born with limitation. But now they're strong animals. They're able to recall. So just because it looks small now, if you believe enough in your vision, you can be just like that elephant. Sometimes we do feel blind. We feel blindsided, actually, when we start. It look like it's not coming together. It's never going to work. What I'm going to do. But if you hang in there and you believe and you keep working, and know that all things start small. But not only that, to empower to recall it, patience make up for movement. We always trying to move and trying to put pieces in place. But I was looking at something about being slow. Now, sometimes slow is dragging your feet, where patient is walking proactive. Slow is reactive, but patient is proactive. Slow is passive, and patient is active. So even though you're patient, it appears like you're being slow, but not, you're waiting. Waiting does not mean just sitting there pilling your thumb. Waiting is that you're strategizing, you're getting things in order, you're making sure everything is lining up. Patient is where sometimes things don't quite work out the way you want it, but you still believe in your vision, you still believe in your dream. Patient means that sometimes I want to walk away from this thing, but I'm just one more day, maybe just one more day, maybe tomorrow. And then when tomorrow comes, I say one more day. So each day I always say one more day. Why? Because I'm patient, because I know what I've been called to do. And I know it's going to take time. It's going to take patience. I'm going to have to be proactive. So I have to be able to walk even when I'm oriented. I have to walk even when I'm tired, but I have to be patient and keep going. And if you ever notice something about elephants, unless they run, elephants don't walk fast. They just too
They're
little
just
of
chill.
patience. You know why? Because they already know I'm the biggest thing around here. I ain't got to rush. So they walk believing in who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we need to be like elephants, believing who we are. But we have to acknowledge the obvious. The elephant already know who they are. They're the baddest thing. Even if a lion, I've watched a video where a lion attacked elephant. Oh, that lion got the worst end of the deal. Because they took about, and then I saw another time they took about 5 or 6 lions to take one elephant down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so sometimes we have to acknowledge the obvious. You know, we get so bombarded and we look at what's going on now, and we don't look at the obvious. You got to know that you're blessed, and since you're here, you still got another chance to get it right. If it didn't work yesterday, if it didn't work last week, if you didn't have the money, but you still got a chance to get it right. You have, we got freedom of religion. We breathe fresh air. We got beds to sleep in. Acknowledge the obvious. That we see rainbows, and even there are times when we may cry. But I always say that the tears are only watering your destiny. You have a right mind. You have freedom to vote. So just acknowledge the obvious. Sometimes if you start acknowledging the obvious, and then you'll be more apt to say, God, you know, I thank you. No, it didn't work yesterday. No, I may not have the money, but you still blessed me. I'm still here. I'm still breathing. I still have an opportunity to get it right. So even in our visions and our dreams, we have to remember to acknowledge the obvious, you know, because God don't have to allow you to breathe.
No, we don't.
And so sometimes we get so caught up, and if we have to stop, digress, remember what we've been through. And that takes me to my next point. Don't forget to remember. Never forget where you come from. I don't care where God take you. Never forget where you come from. And don't forget, your only real competition really is yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Your real competition is yourself. Because if you can get you right, it don't matter what the next man does. If you get your dream right and your vision right, and that you've been called to do, you ain't competition with yourself. And we think we compete against others, but we really competing against ourselves, because if you line up and do what you've been called to do, you can't do what the next man is doing. So don't worry about that. Don't forget to remember. Give back to society. Pay it forward. When you're blessed, bless somebody else. You can. It's not always about money. It's just about telling somebody you know you're awesome. When was the last time you complimented somebody? You know, a lot of times when I called today, I had a problem with my computer, and the guy helped me. And I told him, I said, you know what, you're awesome. So pay it forward. Don't forget. Don't forget how to maybe make somebody else feel good for a change. Mm-hmm. And then also conquer your fears. Your fears will hinder you. Your fears will stop you from going forward. Mm-hmm. Your fears will get in the way of what you've been called to do. You know how many times I was scared? You know how scared? I'm gonna be transparent. I was scared when Nita, I'm gonna just go to when Nita released the book. I was like, like, oh my God, this thing is real. So I just got overwhelmed and consumed with fear, because now I've been talking all this stuff, but now this thing is real. So I had to conquer that fear. So once I put it there and say, coming soon, it was like this elephant got off my shoulder. The elephant, because I had to conquer that. Yeah. If you ever do and be what you've been called to do and be, you got to conquer fear. Yes. Most time it's not people, it's fear. Mm-hmm. Fear will consume you. It will overwhelm you. I know when I used to get real scared, I get hot. I get hot. So yeah. So now this thing is real. I mean, we've been on here every Wednesday talking about, yeah, you better do. Oh, we're gonna release. Oh, we ready. Oh. But then now it's time to do it. And now fear consumed me. So you have to make sure that you, get past fear. That's funny. So don't forget to remember. Well, we're being transparent. We say, can we talk? That's true. Can we talk? And we struggle in areas. And we're letting you know that even though it may look like you can't, but you can. So mastering strength in your struggle. I really had to really think about this and study this. I like, okay. And then I said, what is your struggle? Well, according to Webster, is to make one's way with difficulty. So struggles are difficulties. Struggles are not enough money, health or weight issues. Uh, Loneliness is a big one. Are you willing to fulfill your purpose? You worry constantly. What I'm gonna do? Well, how I'm gonna do this? So those are struggles. Those are struggles. But through your struggle, you have to some kind of way reach it on the inside and get strength, which is your patience and your determination, your discipline, trustworthiness. So you struggling with that elephant, you're with, on one hand, sort of schizophrenic. Because on one hand, you're saying, God, you got this. And then on the next hand, you're saying, oh, God, what I'm going to do? Oh, this time, I don't know. Well, how I'm going to, so you got to deal with that. You got to get to a point to say, you know what? Even if I don't have enough money, even if I am lonely, God, I have to give all this to you because I can't do this. There are some things that we just cannot do for ourselves. And me and Anita and everybody know we are women of faith. So we teach faith, and you have to some kind of way reach down and say, you know what, I can do this. And and I look in my pocket, it's still no one. Sometimes I look in my pocket, it's nothing but lint. But my faith says that even though it's lint in my pocket, God, I believe that you can do this. I believe that you can turn things around. God, I believe you got my back. God, I know you love me, God. So I constantly, have to deal with my struggle. But in my struggles, I'm still dealing with trying to overcome them with my strength. So I'm to the point in my life, my strength overpowers my struggle. Not because I got it all together, but because of my faith and because of what I believe and because of what I know I've been called to do. So once you know what you've been called to do, like we also often say, we go to sleep thinking about it, we wake up. So we know this is going to be a struggle, but the fact that I've been called to do it, and I'm finally tapped into who I've been called to do. So that's another way I get my strength, because I've tapped into who I am and to whose I am and to what I've been called to do. So when you can tap into that, the struggle is real, but the strength can overcome the struggle. And next it say, don't work for peanuts. And we know elephants, they say elephants eat peanuts. But when I did my study, they say it's no. Elephants don't really like peanuts. That's just something that, along the way. But actually, peanuts mean of little value, not worth much. So I'm here to tell you that you don't have to work for peanuts. You have to know your value. Who are you? Don't let anyone devalue you. Celebrate every small accomplishment. Get someone to hold you accountable. Me and Nita hold each other accountable. Get with people who appreciate you. Don't allow the peanut gallery to devalue your worth, because you're worth something. You've been called to do something. And that's another thing. We struggle, say, well, I can't do it. And we begin to tell ourselves all the time what we can't do. And we devalue ourselves, and we're working for peanuts, because you know why? We don't think much of ourselves. We don't think that we can make it. We don't think we'll never amount to anything. So we devalue. So that goes back to getting in that mirror, that mirror Anita talks about, and, begin to confirm and tell yourself how great you are, and tell yourself you look good today. I don't care if every bit of hair of your head sticking on top of it. You're not speaking necessarily to that person you're looking at, that vision. You're speaking to that inner man. And you're telling that inner man who you are. You're telling that onion, that thing that's under the layer of onion, you're telling them who you are. So I decided I'm not working for peanuts anymore, because I know my value. I am somebody. I've always been somebody. Now that I know that I'm somebody, I walk with it. I walk with pride, because I know who I am. So not only do I not work for peanuts, know when to put your foot down. Elephants have the ability to hear with their feet. This is done through vibration. They can warn a herd up to 20 miles away by communicating by stomping. So we have to be like elephant, we have to learn how to put our foot down. And what I mean by that, we need to continue to walk in our vision, continue to walk in our dreams, continue to walk even when we're tired. See, because you never know when you put your foot down, you don't know. And you don't know who's waiting to hear what you have to say. So when you put your foot down, you continue to walk in your vision. You continue to walk in your dreams. You put stuff on social media. You write books, and now you've already put your foot down. Now somebody going to hear, going to see what you're doing. So when you put your foot down, it means you're going to the next level. That's what you have to realize, that you have no more time for yourself.
Okay.
It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone around you expect you to do everything all the time, but what you got to understand is you got to keep stepping. You got to keep it moving. Know when to put your foot down. Don't start walking. Will you type this? Tell yourself that I'm not going to start walking. Don't start walking. Put your foot down, because somebody's going to hear what you're doing. And like the elephant, it may, well, like I said, maybe the herd 20 miles away can hear them. Somebody can hear you. They hear when we're on here every Wednesday. When we put our foot down, somebody hears us, and it goes into their ear gate, and it goes to their heart. Why? Because we have decided to put our foot down.
Mm-hmm.
So put your foot down, y'all. Learn how to walk in your destiny. Learn how to keep going even when you're tired. Learn how to go even when nobody goes with you. Because there will be times, baby, in this walk, you may have to walk alone. And there are times you get fatigued and you get tired. Put your foot down. Resentment has kicked in. There was time when you did things for love and enjoyment, maybe even got a weak bit of pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I've learned that I have to put my foot down, even though sometimes I'm tired.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't have the money. Sometimes I'm disillusioned, and sometimes I even ask God, did you really call me to do it? Anita said it earlier. But I get up every day and I put my foot down. I just walk, like the elephant. Somebody's going to hear what I got to say.
Okay.
They may not hear me today. They may not hear me tomorrow. But if I keep putting my foot down, somebody's going to hear what I have to say. Now, once I put my foot down, then I'm ready to charge ahead.
Oh, I know.
That's all right.
Boom! Not back.
So now I put my foot down. Now I'm ready to charge ahead. I'm ready to go forth. I'm ready to walk into my destiny. I'm ready to keep it moving. If you see elephants keep going. Sometimes they go at a slow pace. They say sometimes in a day, they may go 20 miles a day, because they have destiny. Because of the fact that they put their foot down, that maybe the herd that's ahead of them have warned them about something. That's another thing they say. What with vibration, when you put your foot down, is sometimes they warn you of impending danger. They just be communicating. So when you charge ahead, there's somebody already went ahead and already got whatever I back here. So so once that person goes ahead, like Anita, she went ahead with her book. Now I got my foot down. Now I'm charging ahead now, because she already blazed the way. Now, okay. She's already told me this thing could be done. So now next week I'll be releasing my book. So I'm here to let you know that you need to put your foot down and charge ahead and walk into your destiny. Mastering strength in your struggles.
Uh-oh. Did I go to the wrong one? I'm sorry. Oh no, I went to the right one.
You went to the right? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thinking like, wait a minute, is that right? Yes, it's right. All righty. Now, this is where I've been wanting to get to. Right here. You know I got something.
I know you do.
Well, because the thing is, I know there's one point, and you touched on it a little bit. There's one point that we have always known about an elephant. We used to always hear people say that. And people say that about me all the time, because I can remember conversations verbatim. I can remember places we were, when things happen. You talked about the elephant's memory. And when we learn to exercise, that we always talk about that we don't uh, we don't usually fully use the full capacity of our brain. When we learn to exercise the power of our brain and our memory, your memory will serve you right every time. And we used to hear, we hear the old church people say, oh, in the scripture, the Bible says, Holy Ghost will bring all things back to your remembrance. When we are in a tight and we're having a problem, or, when you really got to figure something out, you will figure it out.
Yeah.
When your back is against the wall, you will figure something out. And, that sometimes it takes us to get into that place, but there's such a power in our memory. And when I started looking at this, because most of my points under this have the same heading: remember your status. You need to remember. And when I looked up the word remember, it was so crazy to me to see the different tenses of this verb. When you look at the intransitive state, it means to have the power of memory. You have the power. But as we say so often, we don't exercise it. And that is such a state of being in an intransitive position where you can do something about your situation, but you just won't move. And that is like that, the one of the most powerful things that the elephant has is his memory. And we have memory. We can remember things. I can remember some things from when I was 4 years old. We can remember places and people. And there are some things that we choose to not remember when we suffer traumatic situations in our lives. Sometimes, we choose to not remember, or, God would just use that, what I call that magic eraser, and erase certain things from your memory so that you won't even have the thoughts about it. He has the power to do that and to tell you what you're going to remember, what you won't remember. So that way your life has balance, because there's some things you just don't want to remember, or you don't want to revisit. But we have the power of remembering things, because when we'll read something and it may not spark something in us at that moment, but maybe years down the line you'll use it. Or something you learned in school, you're like, why am I learning this? You won't use it right then, but it'll come in handy at some point in your life. You'll have these problem solving skills that will come back to you. And that's the power of memory. It's powerful. But in order for you to remember in a transitive state, the transitive definition of this word was to bring back to mind or to think again. Oh, and see, we know stuff, but we don't really remember. Oh, it's there. We have the power of memory, but we don't remember. We don't think again. So when you get to the point to exercise the elephant in you, I want you to remember your status. In everything that you do, you are of a royal priesthood. You have status. You are the only one of you that God made. You have status. You have a uniqueness about you. There are things that you do that only you can do it the way you do it. Can't nobody sound like Ebony. Can't nobody cook like Brenda. Can't nobody cater like Sharon. I mean, come on, people. Only you can do that. Can't nobody quote like Annette. You can't do it. I cannot do what she does, and you can't do what I do. So you are unique. So remember that when you're facing opposition, or when you're facing, fear and anxiety, remember your status. Remember your status. Then you got to remember that you have rights. You have rights as a person to take everything that's yours and to speak everything that you want to speak, and to do anything that you want to do, and to live your dreams. Why? Because everything in this earth you have access to. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. You have rights to everything. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. You have rights. You have rights. You have status. You have rights. And so you have to remember this stuff. You have to think again. When you think you can't fulfill something, think again. When you think you can't have something, think again.
Yeah.
Because most of the time when you start thinking less than and you start trying to think, you can think your way out of something. I have thought my way out of a lot of things. Yeah. You can think your way out of it. You start thinking like, let me just think about it for a minute. Okay, you know what? I had to change my mind. I'm not gonna release the book. No, Nita. I know you sent me a flyer, but I'm just gonna wait because it ain't time. I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna. I talked myself out of releasing I Dare You to Declare in February. Talked myself right on up out of it, and it's now June, and I just got that book out, and it was on a mandate, and I could not rest until I got that book out. Why? Because it was holding up the next one. It's holding up stuff, and I told y'all, you be sitting right here. And here's time. Everything's moving, and you right here, you might creep up a little bit, and then you.
That's so true. That's so
and
true.
Blessing all the way over there, and you all the way over here. Like, wait, hello, hold up. No. So think again. Think again. Remember, you have to remember that you have strength.
Yeah. Yes.
And just like we said, the elephant doesn't really realize how strong he is. You mess around and you back that elephant in the corner. And when you get yourself, when you feel back in the corner, come out swinging. Because as we have told you all through this thing, you are stronger than you think. You have to make sure that you have to remember one thing, just like Annette was saying when she was saying it, I was like, man, that'll preach right there. She talked about how the elephant just kept on moving. And he just keeps moving. He's moving slow and so nonchalant. He's just moving. But what is he doing consistently? He's moving consistently. He's moving, and guess what? The race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to the one who endures to the end. He ain't gonna get tired. He just gonna keep on moving. He's just gonna keep on moving. So you have to understand that you have status, you have rights, and you have strength. And then when knowing all of that, you have to remember to stand, because most of the time, things that come against us, we just let it knock us on down. I just couldn't stand. I don't know. It just took me out. It just knocked me down. I'm like, no. Don't save that drama. Yeah. That's drama. Don't get caught up in the drama that you can't. Because trust me, if you could not take it, you would not be going through it.
That's it.
You're going through it because God knows you can take it. You can handle it, and you can handle even probably more. And perhaps you're going through it because you're not learning. So learn it so you don't have to go through it anymore. But you can stand. You can stand through a lot of things. There's so much stuff. When you look back, just look back over your life. Just take a second and look back over your life and think about some of the things that you have survived that you thought you weren't going to make it. You thought the world was over. Oh, he left me, Jesus. Oh, God, take me down. I mean, some stuff that you thought, was done. Like, oh, God, I don't have nowhere to live. Oh, God. And you survived.
You survived it.
You survived. And I want you to type this. I want you to type in, I remember. And you don't have to even say what it is, but just say, I remember. Because I have a whole lot of stuff on my I remember list. I could type I remember in here 100 times. Because I remember what it was like to be homeless. I remember what it was like to not know literally where the next meal was coming from. I remember what it was like to be brokenhearted. I remember what it was like to be a victim of public scrutiny. I remember what it was like to be ridiculed and talked about and crushed and hurt. I remember, but I also remember that I have status, I have rights, I have strength, and that I remember to stand through all of it, because guess what? I survived so many other things, and I'll survive this too. Why? Because of the elephant in me.
Anita.
Yeah.
One of the things too, you made me think about it with an elephant. When they sleep, they stand. Exactly. They stand when they stand when they sleep. So even when they're resting, and there may be times when you have to rest, but keep standing.
Keep standing.
Yeah.
That's a good one there. And I didn't know that. I didn't even think they had that. Thank you, Annette. Because that's a good one. You have to remember to stand, because he's not even bothered. Probably dead to the world, standing right there asleep.
Not worrying about his enemies?
Not worried about nothing.
Nothing.
Not worried. Just standing. And that's what we have to do, people. You have to stand. You have that big, strong, ferocious, tall elephant in you, and you can make it. Woo! That was good. I feel that. How y'all doing? We got about 3 minutes. I know I'm gonna let y'all go for this debate. We said we was gonna get y'all out of here. But does anybody want to say something real quick? Anybody want to like open the camera and just say a little something? Hello? Hello? Oh, Brenda. I ain't see Brenda come in. Brenda, LaShavia, Elena. All right, Elena. Yolanda, Sharon, Carrie, Ebony. Oh, look at Brenda. Hey.
Hey.
You remember, girl? You remember?
Oh, yeah, I remember. And the best part about being an elephant, they walk slow, but they keep going. You know how they say the truth will slow walk you down? If you're right, your destiny will slow walk you down. Don't let it bypass you.
You better preach that right now.
So I know that because Saturday I released my magazine. So
right.
Yes, you do. Yes, I'm so excited.
Yes, I'm just, oh my gosh. And she is beautiful.
Oh.
She is just absolutely gorgeous. She's brilliant. She's intelligent. I read it. I've gone through it. And it is amazing what's there. So yes.
Congratulations.
The elephant in me. Yes.
Yes. Well, slow walk you down. That's a good one, though, Brand. And that is the truth.
Yeah.
When you think you standing still, nothing's happening. If you're really standing in your truth.
Yeah.
And you just keep moving, it may be slow to somebody else, but guess what? When that time comes, that thing comes to fruition, everybody that you slowly pass by on the way to it, gonna be looking at you like, wow, she did it. She really did it. Okay. Then what they gonna say?
Yeah, because you work in private and success is public.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I'm excited about the magazine. I can't wait till Brenda will be live streaming on Facebook Saturday at 10, right?
Yeah,
Saturday
exactly.
at 10 a.m.
Oh, okay.
I will be in the room.
Yes.
I will be in the room.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, so excited.
Excellent. Okie dokie. Well, and nobody else don't want to say nothing. We're happy to have you all with us tonight. Thank you all so much for joining. We, hey, we got a crazy political season. Don't get too caught up. And I know I'm going to be fussing at the TV. This is not my night, though. I want to see are on tomorrow night. I'm going to check out tonight. But those are the people I want to see on tomorrow night. However, y'all be good, be blessed. And we'll be back here same time, same place next week with another discussion.
Thank you for joining us. Bye.
All right, good people. Woo.
So, Nita, if you want to hit me up tomorrow, so we can do the next one.
Okay, we'll do.
Yeah, so we can get the next thing going.
Yeah, we need to get next month because we are.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah, so we got to do it probably tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Talk to you later, girl.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.